Francisco asks the students in his school what pets they have. He studies the events shown. So event S represents the student has a cat, and event T is the student has a dog. Francisco finds that the two events are independent. Select all equations that must be true for event S and T. Now for this problem, we haven't got to talk a whole lot about probability and statistics in class yet. So what you want to do though is we'll just go over each one so that hopefully if you do see any of this type of notation on the test, it may look a little more familiar if we review it together here. So for our first option, what this really means is that the probability of S given that T occurs is equal to S. And so for this one, this would be true. This is conditional probability of S given T, and what you want to check for is that S is listed first and it would be equivalent to whether or not T happened. So if it's given T, then it would be, you want the first initials to match up here. Since these are the second ones, that doesn't necessarily mean anything, so this one is incorrect. For here, this is the second one again, so not correct. For here, T matches the first one. That is what indicates that this would be independent, so fourth option would also be true. That would make it independent as well. The next two have to do with union and intersection. Union means that everything is true, where an intersection means that just the parts where they intersect or that they have in common would be true. For this one, this would mean that this side, every single thing would have to equal if you multiply those together, but that's not necessarily the case because the first one represents everything, where the second one would just be the intersection. If the intersection is equal to multiplying them, that would indicate that they are independent, because you probably will get a number that's not everything within your, within your data for that last one. Let me know if this makes sense. Again, the definition with the conditional probability for independent is that this variable, or the fact that the student has a cat, whatever the probability is for the fact that a student has a cat, will be equal to the student having a cat given that they have a dog. It would be the same. But it has to be that very first variable or that very first event listed there with this one. This means union. It means everything within your data you would combine. This means intersection. If you multiply your pieces together and it's equivalent to their intersection, then it means that they're independent events as well. If you have any questions, please let me know. But this would be the correct option for this one. Another thing I do want to mention real quick is with these type of problems where you have list all that are possible choices, you have to get them exactly right. If this were my answer, that would be wrong because I missed one. If this were my answer and I added in an extra one, that would be wrong as well. So please make sure that you do pay close attention to each and every answer, because even if you get some correct with these multiple choice ones, there is no partial credit. So be very cautious, and if you have questions, let me know.